Hello YouTube and welcome back to Cover 2 Credits. Today I'm going to do a quickie review for The Greatest Showman, the recent musical based on the story of P.T. Barnum and the creation of what would eventually be the Barnum and Bailey Circus. First things first, I enjoy musicals. I always kind of have, whether it's the classical like Oklahoma, The Music Man, something like Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, or even more recent, even remakes that have come up recently of like the Les Mis movie. I really enjoyed. Some people are like, that's a lot different than the play, but I've enjoyed them all. So here we're just gonna kind of go through. The story of P.T. Barnum is pretty interesting, and from what the research I've done is everything is obviously fairly to scale when it comes to the story they give. The son of a tailor kind of grows up having nothing. They don't necessarily get into Barnum's political background in this movie. More that he starts businesses when he loses a job, decides to buy this museum, and decides to... At first he's having wax figures and statues and things like that to show off these exhibits. Decides to bring in live exhibits. Thinking animals. Decides that maybe oddities and people would be the way to go. Now, he knows of a couple ideas with that, and he meets people. He meets Tom Thumb, who he plays the Napoleon general in the circus, and then through that he meets other people like the tattooed man and the bearded lady and the acrobats and trapeze artists and things like that. Hugh Jackman plays P.T. Barnum. Always is great in musicals. I enjoyed him a lot in Les Mis. He's just a great voice, great actor, dances well. It is very, very good. His wife in the movie is Michelle Williams, who also did very, very well, I thought, in this movie. She keeps up with him in scenes, and she has a few very like emotionally poignant things that go on throughout the show. Obviously, that makes sense with his wife. Eventually, you also meet Philip Carlisle, played by Zac Efron, who I believe it's the first time he's done anything musically since High School Musical, and he does very, very well, singing and dancing. And I know him and Zendaya did some aerial acrobatic stuff. They actually filmed it. They said they wanted to do the least amount of stunt people, film the least amount of stunt people as they could. So I know he, and then I'll bring up Zendaya, who plays a very, very good part in this. Did a lot of training for aerial work and trapeze stuff, and the scene, there's a song they do together, and it's an amazing thing to watch because you see them actually doing a lot of what you're seeing. And when you're dealing with like trapezes and like rings and ropes and things like that, you could see that some actors are not going to take the time to do that. Rebecca Ferguson plays Jenny Lind, who is an English singer who is popular at this time. That in real life, Barnum promoted Jenny Lind's tour through the United States. At the time, paying her like $1,000 a night for 150 shows, something crazy. And then and that's a very poignant part in the movie that I don't necessarily know if it was the same in real life, but she plays it very well. Her beautiful voice is an interesting character. The two Barnum kids are played by these two young actresses, Austin Johnson and Cameron Seeley. Both are played very, very well. Sometimes kids go just kind of whatever, but they have a nice couple singing parts, and they played that very well. Now, Keila, I might be killing her name here, but Keila Settle plays Lettie Lutz, who is the bearded lady, and is the one singing This Is Me, the main person singing This Is Me, which is the song that last night won the Golden Globe for Best Original Song, beat out a couple a song from Coco and some other songs. It's like, that's awesome. She plays this part great. Is kind of the pseudo leader of the group of misfits, if you will. and beautiful voice, and just such a heartfelt, like, the song is so poignant in the movie. Eh, excuse me, and it's just very, very good. Sam Humphrey is the guy that plays Tom Thumb, and he plays this part very, very well. You can tell, like, they play this where, this is the 1800, I'm not even sure what time period, truthfully. I know that sounds terrible, but basically a time where people that were different were kind of shunned, including by their parents. And that's the part that he plays, is kind of being hidden by his mother, and Bailey finds him, or Barnum finds him, and kind of brings him out into the light, if you will. The music in this movie is great. The set pieces are cool. They do some really good CG stuff, because I don't believe, I might be wrong, but other than horses and maybe one elephant, there are no elephants in the shows or anything like that. I believe they're all CG. There's a lot of things that go on in this movie that it's just fun, and the music is good. It's kind of a modern mix of music with lyrics. It's not, what I mean is, like, the sound of the music is more modern than, like, what you might fit for the time period. You're not going to get, like, a classical sound. You're getting more of a little bit of a modern sound, but it doesn't take you out of it. I thought that was very good. If you want to hear the music, it's all you can find on YouTube. I recommend This Is Me, or I'm trying to think. I'll think of the other song before the end of it. But there's a really good song between Efron and Hugh Jackman. And yeah, I'm gonna rent. Let me tell you what the ratings are right now. Right now, it has an 8 out of 10 on IMDb, a 53 on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm surprised that it's that low. Audience score is 90, and Roger Ebert give it 3.5 out of 4 stars. So I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna give this an 8. I enjoyed this very, very much, and I'm going to recommend you to go see this movie by all means. I think you're going to love it. If you like musicals, if you like the circus, if you like Hugh Jackman, if you like Zac Efron, if you like Zendaya, they all have very, very good parts in this. It's a lot of fun, and I recommend to go see this. Now, this is later than when it came out the 20th, but didn't necessarily go wide until more recently, so that's why it's taken me so long to see it. So it might be on its way out of the theaters soon, but definitely if you get a chance to go see this. You watch the scene with Jackman and Efron, and you get the feeling that they could let those two guys remake all of the old Danny Kaye and Fred Astaire musicals, and they would all do very, very well. The two guys just do song and dance very, very well, and that's kind of something that doesn't happen that much that often anymore. And I thought, wow, it'd be interesting to see if they let those two guys redo something like a White Christmas or a holiday movie, or Singing in the Rain or something like that, and just let them kind of have fun with it. It'd be really, really cool. Granted, I doubt that'll happen, but it'd be really cool. So, once again, go see this movie. More movies coming out. January's kind of hit and miss. I know we're going to have a book review, I think, coming up soon. A game, I believe, soon. And then we might talk about some most anticipated from this year. Follow us on everything. Facebook, at Cover to Credits, on Twitter, Cover to Credits, on Instagram. We're kind of all over the place. I post different things as they come up, as I see them throughout the week, or I type them about. We might have a little bit of an article talking about the Golden Globes, maybe. Depends if I write it or not in time. And if there's anything you guys want us to review, if there's a movie you see or you hear about that you want us to review, let us know. We're always kind of keeping an eye out for things. It just depends on when we can hit and what's being shown close to us. We are kind of in a weird market, so some movies don't really make it through this area. But until next time, thank you for staying until after the credits.